real good feeling. Right now, 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 right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling. Like there is lightning deep in my bones. Yeah, I got a real good feeling. I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. I got a real good feeling.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's live stream, we are going to be discussing the fundamentals behind Bitcoin and why we believe that Bitcoin is going to well over $100,000 in the next couple of years. We have something very important we need to talk about. We're going to be discussing Treasury yields, and you might be wondering, Jeb, what do Treasury yields have to do with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Well, there's an exodus going on right now. There's an exodus of people leaving the stock market, going into treasuries because they're worried about inflation on the US dollar. Now, for all of us in cryptocurrency, we know that inflation on the US dollar is actually a very good thing for Bitcoin because Bitcoin was designed to be a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin was designed to be the safe haven that people will go to when they are struggling with inflation of their currencies. We see a mass exodus going away from the US dollar right now to treasuries because of a concern about inflation, and the only thing stopping them from going to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is education. We're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's live stream. Guys, I am joined today again by our co-host, not Crypto Tim. How are you doing, Tim?
What's up, everybody? I am back. I am back.
Tim is back, and welcome to Smee the Tree, who is back in his producer seat.
You know what I mean?
Got to make sure that you got the coffee. If you don't have any coffee, make sure you go and get it. This is, of course, coffee and crypto. If you don't have coffee, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Very clearly, we need it to make sure we can speak as fast as we do on this stream because we have quite a bit to cover.
Yeah, we do.
Tim.
Yeah, we have a very good show today.
This show was brought to you by Tim. He did all the research for this show. He has a lot of points he wants to make. We're going to be starting off with some Bitcoin technical analysis here in a little bit, but I first want to throw it back to Tim and see if you have any major overarching points you want to make before we get too far.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away because we got really good meat in this show.
Yes, we do.
So make sure you guys stay in the whole time. Hit a like if you want to, and if you don't want to, you can hit it anyway. But no, I mean, overall, this news that broke, I don't know if anyone saw it yet or has done any digging on it. I spent, I don't know, at least an hour this morning digging deeper into what all the ramifications of it is. But what's happening right now with the high treasury yields is actually going to be massive, not just for right now, because that's the thing is it has implications of what we do right now, but also what we do in the future. So make sure you guys stay connected the entire video.
Absolutely, guys. We're going to be talking about the boomers and how they don't understand Bitcoin, but we are going to first start off with some Bitcoin technical analysis. Before we do, we need to go over our price predictions on Bitcoin yesterday. Tim,
Yep.
would you like to tell us what we all predicted?
Yeah, so I wasn't here, but I was actually able to watch part of the show. First of all, thank you everyone who was worried about me and wanted to know where I was.
He was off being your president.
Very important meeting, but I'm very glad to be back. I told Jeb the other day, this 9:30 to 10:30 slots, some of the best parts of my day. So I was talking to Smee earlier. So I write down the predictions. Obviously, I wasn't here yesterday. I want you guys to know, if you are Team Tree, you guys are a part of a team of a very intelligent being. Like, Smee is super, super smart. And the reason I know that is because he has the handwriting of like a 3-year-old. Because this is absolutely horrendous. And I have noticed in the past that it seems like doctors and lawyers are for sure some of the worst handwriters of all time. They can't even read their own handwriting. So Smee's in very good company. That being said, just to remind you guys, if you guys didn't see the show yesterday, the predictions we had for Bitcoin was, and he didn't write names down, but I think I remember who said what. Smay said 58.5, so 58,500.
It's literally at $58,524. Right
Wow,
now.
what a good... I told you he's intelligent. Come on, Smay.
Let's go, Team Smee!
Yeah,
I do it for the trees,
Team
guys. I do it for the
trees.
trees.
Yes. So, new Team Zach, which that was a little bit of a curveball.
Yes.
I kind of like it, though.
Team definitely not high Zach. Found
Definitely
his own
not high
team.
Zach is was said 61.4.
Yep.
There was a moment this morning I thought maybe it was going to lean towards his favor. It
Yep.
looked like Bitcoin was trying to make a rally, and then it came back down. Jeb said 62.8, and then Team Tim, they wrote down 64.457. It doesn't really matter because I was wrong anyway, but it was 64.432.
That's what I said.
It's okay. You know what? I was coming off a massive victory from yesterday, so you win some, you lose some. At the end of the day, I got to sleep last night knowing I was rooting for you guys and the best. Didn't quite go that way, but it's okay. So Smay takes home the victory today. I think that takes him to what? 4 wins? 3 wins?
Three?
wins?
Three. Thank you.
There we go. Okay.
3-3.
That's it. And we'll make a prediction later today. We'll decide during the show what we want to predict. If you guys want
do
to
it.
tell us in the comments what you'd like for us to predict for
Yes.
not tomorrow but Monday, let us know. That's the most fun one because we got 3 days
We
to
got
play
3
with stuff.
days. Yes,
So-
indeed. Well, guys, unless there is anything else that we want to discuss, we are going to kick off the stream with some Bitcoin technical analysis because we have a lot to talk about in today's live stream, and it has to start with the TA. Are we good to go? Is there anything else we want to cover? Let's do it. Guys, I'm going to jump straight on over to the Bitcoin chart, and we are going to get right on into it. Guys, you know that Bitcoin is the top dog of cryptocurrency, and there's a reason we all love it. We're going to talk about all of that and more in this stream. This is where we are going, but this is where we are starting. Let's start off the stream with some blank-to-bank Bitcoin technical analysis. This is the form of technical analysis where we take a totally blank chart and we show you every step of the process for how to analyze this chart so you can make bank trading and investing on it. The very first thing we do is we identify our levels of support and resistance. We obviously have a level of support at $58,400. That is our previous all-time high that we are just barely above right now. We also have a level of resistance up here at $61,800. That is the level of resistance that we hit about a week ago. That is our current all-time high figure on Bitcoin. We also have a strong level of support down at $43,000. This level could catch us should we ever need to pull back that far again. I'm not inclined to believe that that's going to happen, but if we need it, it's there. The next thing I want to show you guys is a flat level sitting right here around $53,000 to $54,000. I'm going to put this right in the middle because in reality, this is more of a zone of support in between this bottom right here and this high right over here back on the 3rd of March with the bottom on the 15th of March respectively. So $53,000 and change is a strong level of support. Also on top of that, we see $55,000 is a strong level of support as well. So keeping all this in mind, that's well, good, fine, and dandy. Let's look at our trend lines. We have a trend line that is holding the Bitcoin market up right now very well. It's this trend line right here. It connects our bottom down here on the 28th of February at $43,000. It connects our bottoms here in early March around $46,000. It connects recent bottoms here around $53,000 to $54,000 in mid-March, and we haven't pulled back to it yet. What we've been talking about quite a bit recently on the channel is the idea of a cup and handle formation. This is where you have a major pullback like this. It's called a cup. And then you have a smaller pullback called a handle, and then you rally. It's exactly the same thing as this coffee mug. You have a big bowl, and then you have a small bowl, and then you shoot through the moon. That's what coffee makes you do. It makes you jump straight through the ceiling, and cup and handle patterns do the exact same thing on the chart. Bitcoin needed to go through a small pullback to confirm this cup and handle, and if this cup and handle continues to play out over the next couple of days, this is where my prediction yesterday of $62,400, that was written down wrong because I said $62,400.
I told you the handwriting is absolutely horrendous.
You don't have to
Thanks,
keep bringing
May.
it up. Okay?
I will keep bringing it up because you're that smart, Smay. That's why I keep bringing it up.
The worse your handwriting, the higher your IQ is. I guess that's why my handwriting sucks, because Team Jeb is the team of the smart people. Just gonna throw that out there. Anyway, we also have an uptrending level of resistance on Bitcoin. It is sitting right here, and this is where my prediction yesterday came from. I do still think this prediction of $62,400 is going to occur. It looks like it's going to take a little bit longer. Tim looks like he wants to chime in. What you got, Tim?
Yeah, I want to clarify for people because people were asking. When we do those predictions, that is a combination of technical analysis with trying to guess the things that are unknowable. Sometimes the time is wrong. Like I actually if you guys vote Team Jeb, rarely has one of Jeb's predictions not come true. It just doesn't necessarily come true at 9:30 the next morning. That's the stuff. The exact timing is really hard to know.
Yeah.
It's the where is it going. So when you guys chiming in on our predictions being off, the prediction is going to be off because that's part of our game. We're just playing. But usually it actually goes where we're thinking it goes based off technical analysis.
Yeah, guys, the predictions that we're making also are like 30% for prediction's sake, 70% for entertainment's sake, so that we can argue with each other. It's a bit, is what it is. So if our predictions don't come true, that wasn't really the point in the first place. I suppose we should clarify that. I didn't think we had to, but there you go. Anyway, jumping back to the chart, I want to continue talking about the technicals here on Bitcoin because, like I said, my prediction yesterday was, in fact, rooted in TA. Normally, my prediction is the most rooted in technical analysis. These guys are the ones playing the Joker cards on you guys. Yeah. I do think that $62,400 is going to happen. Why? Because if we put a horizontal level at $62,400, which is right here, this would show that Bitcoin would go and rally to this uptrending level of resistance. That's what I want to see happen. I do think that's going to happen. Notice that Bitcoin is in this ascending wedge. Again, we talked about yesterday how these tend to break bearish. I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen this time. We want to see this pullback play out because that's the cup, or excuse me, that's the handle to the larger cup, and that results in a massive breakout on Bitcoin. So zooming out to the daily chart, let's look at the technicals and see what they have to say about that. Looking at the MACD, we can see the MACD is trying to cross bearish right now. This is a concern. However, I will show you something that happens every once in a while on Bitcoin. Sometimes you will see a bearish cross happen or a bullish cross happen, or it looks like it's about to happen, and then there's a small reversal. Look at how these were converging on themselves in these instances, and then they continue the trend they were already in. Just because Bitcoin is attempting a bearish cross right now does not necessarily mean it's going to happen. If we do see a bearish cross, it is likely that we will pull back and start correcting to price targets in between $53,000 and $55,000. However, it hasn't happened yet. Keep it in our back pocket. Let's not forget about it, but let's understand that it hasn't actually happened yet. Also, looking in here on the daily chart, you can see something forming that if you've gone through CT2A, you will know what today's candlestick is. Again, today's candlestick has not closed yet, but this is called a spinning top formation. It's called a spinning top because you have a long candle wick out here, long candle wick down here, and a short stubby body. That is called a spinning top, and that signals something called indecision in the market. Remember, we've been talking about how the market seems to be undecided as to what it wants to do next. We've been talking about that for the last 4 or 5 days. The candlestick is now showing that. Bitcoin is undecided right now. We are hoping that it will rally up to $62,000 to $63,000 and change. However, Bitcoin needs to confirm that. It hasn't confirmed it yet. I do think it's going to happen based on everything we're going to discuss in this video. It hasn't happened yet. With all of that in mind, we can also see that Bitcoin is still far above the 20 daily EMA. The TD sequential got overextended, but we've now reset. The volume looks relatively healthy. Let's wait for it to actually come up. It doesn't want to pop up. There we go. Volume is relatively healthy. It's kind of low today, but again, the day isn't over. Guys, right now, Bitcoin is undecided. Bitcoin doesn't know what it wants to do. Bitcoin needs confirmation. And this is the point we're going to make in this video, is that even though Bitcoin is undecided, the fundamentals are very clear. There is a very clear train that is starting to move right now. There are big dominoes starting to fall that are going to lead to massive long-term bullishness. So don't get confused because there's a little bit of indecision in the market right now. The fundamentals are extremely clear, and that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of today's stream. Tim, what do you think on all of that? Where do you think Bitcoin is heading? And what do we think Bitcoin's going to do in the long run, and why do we think that it's going to happen?
Yeah, so one of the things we were talking about in this video, and we discussed in our planning meeting this morning, was that a lot of people watching this right now, you guys are bought into the longevity of Bitcoin. So this isn't necessarily going to be a video to sway you to change your mind, because I think a lot of you are kind of in the same boat of like, hey, we know Bitcoin's going somewhere. What this video is going to help you with is understand the deep root of why it's going to go there. I mean, that's the definition of what fundamental analysis is, but it's actually very fundamental in the sense of like, hey, we're going to dig deep into not just what is on the surface causing things, but the trickle-down effect. So if this is the fundamental, why is that the fundamental? And why is that the fundamental? And why, we're gonna kind of follow the chain of thinking to make sure that not only do you have the right mindset moving forward in Bitcoin, but that we can help. Ultimately, as you guys see the title, what we need to see is a Bitcoin education happen massively. So the more we can answer these questions of why, the better we'll be able to educate people and prepare them for financial freedom with cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys a question. Why does Bitcoin exist? What's the point of Bitcoin? What problem does Bitcoin set out to solve? If you don't know the answer to this question, you need to know the answer to this question if you're in cryptocurrency. The same reason that you would want to know why you're buying into Apple stock. Oh, well, I love their executive team. I love the market they're going into. I love their business model. I love their business plan. I love the investors they have on board. I love the market they are entering. You need to know why you're investing in something. If you don't know why you're investing in something, you shouldn't be investing in it. Why are we investing in Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin does two things. It created a decentralized ecosystem that backs up its core concept of limited supply. So expanding upon that, the US dollar does not have a limited supply. Every year, the US dollar loses 2% of its value. It's called inflation. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you look at a chart of it, you can see that the US dollar was worth 50 times more per dollar 100 years ago than it is now. Have you ever watched a Western and they're like, oh yeah, I'll buy your 50 acres for, I don't know, $2,000. You can buy 50 acres for $2,000? Yes, the reason for that is because the US dollar has lost a lot of value. Buying 50 acres in the middle of nowhere now would probably cost you $200,000. The US dollar has lost its value over time. So everyone who is holding the US dollar and trying to store their value in the US dollar is losing 2% of their value every single year. This is one of the reasons I don't like high yield. This is one of the reasons I don't like savings accounts, is because people put their money in savings account and all they're doing is treading water. They're getting 2% a year. Great. You're losing 2% a year to inflation. Bitcoin was designed to be anti-inflation. It was designed to be a hedge against inflation. A hedge is something that is against something else. Bitcoin was designed to be a hedge against inflation. So we need to understand that concept on Bitcoin. The issue is a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't understand that concept. They don't understand that Bitcoin's limited supply is the reason it was created. And if a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't understand the why behind Bitcoin, the whole world certainly doesn't. So there's a lot of people that are seeing, hey, the US dollar has a problem. It's hyperinflationary. The US dollar can have inflation run rampant and destroy people's valuation and destroy people's net worth and steal money from them over time in a small way that you might not be able to notice very easily, but it is happening. Bitcoin is designed to stop that. So what we're going to be getting into in today's stream is we are seeing an exodus of people leaving the stock market because they consider it risky, and they're moving their money from stocks into US-backed treasuries. So I'm going to show you the chart of the Treasury yields, the 10-year Treasury yields here in a second. There is a lot of people moving from stocks into treasuries. Why? Because they are concerned about inflation. Those exact same people, if they knew what Bitcoin was, would be moving into Bitcoin. So the only reason that we're not having a mass exodus of people coming from the stock market into Bitcoin boils down to one word, and it's a lack of education. And that's the point we're making in this video, is that over the next 12, 14 months, we are going to see a massive amount of education, and it's going to lead to huge returns on Bitcoin. Tim, do you have anything to chime in on that, or can I go ahead and show this chart?
I think you were good. Like you said, did you say the number that it went up?
Yes, I'm about to show them the chart, actually.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Okay, so guys, we're going to go ahead and jump on to the 10-year Treasury yield. I'm going to explain what exactly a Treasury is here in a second. We're going to go into all of that. It doesn't actually really matter. The point is that it's going up. So we'll get into what this actually is, but just understand the reason we're talking about this is because the Treasury yield has gone up very fast. We're on a website called macrotrends.net. We're looking at the 10-year Treasury rate with 54 years of historical data. If we look to all of those 54 years, we can see that the 10-year Treasury yield was very high back in the 80s. If you guys remember back in the 80s, for any of our boomer viewers here, you may remember that mortgages were incredibly expensive, but at the same time, CDs, savings accounts, treasuries brought massive returns. Instead of investing in the stock market, a lot of people were just simply buying CDs and making 15% a year and living off of that. Interest rates were much higher. Interest rates have been consistently going down for the last 40 years, near zero right now, especially in light of the COVID pandemic. We're not going to get into the federal fund rates and everything today, but the interest rate has consistently gone down. The thing is that the federal funds rate, that's the interest rate as set by the U.S. federal government, is set by a central authority. The Treasury yield actually has a free market component to it. The Treasury yield changes based on how many people are buying into this market. And that is the point here. We can see just back in August of last year, the 10-year rate, the 10-year yield was sitting at 0.64%. Now it's sitting at 1.64%. It's nearly tripled in 6 months. That is one of the fastest rallies in the Treasury yield that we have ever seen. We saw a doubling of the Treasury yield back in 2012, and we saw the Treasury yield rally very quickly in 2008, but very rarely in history have we ever seen it triple in 6 months. And that's the point we're getting at in this video, is that people are leaving traditional money. They are leaving traditional currencies. They are leaving the traditional stock market. They are moving into treasuries because they see it as less risky. They see it as a hedge against inflation. By the way, I sit on a board of 12 other CEOs and business owners. Every single one of them is concerned about inflation right now. These are all millionaires in this room. Every single one of them is dealing with 7 figures and dozens of employees. These people are very concerned about inflation because they understand the federal government printing money as if it's snow and just making it rain and saying, oh, here's $1,400, here's $1,200, here's $600, so you can go buy a VR headset like Smay did. When we do that, we devalue the US dollar. And wise investors understand that. And they're moving to treasuries because they have a problem with inflation. They're not moving to Bitcoin, and the only reason they're not is because they don't understand it. That is a problem that we as a company are aiming to solve by educating people on cryptocurrency And that's the point of this stream. Tim, do you have anything to elaborate on that, or can we continue?
No, I think it really is, just to wrap up what you said, simply is that, just so you guys know, in case you didn't, every single time that this high treasury yield, as when it goes up, stocks go down. Okay, so that you need to know that. When the treasury yield goes up, stocks go down.
Yep.
And here is where Bitcoin gets drawn into it, is even though I said, I don't think people watching this video view it this way, the majority of people, I don't even say the majority of people, a lot of people invested in Bitcoin view Bitcoin as a stock. And that's the problem. That's the reason why Bitcoin is not going even more astronomically up. It's being hurt by the fact that the stock market is hurt, because despite the fact that it's not true, people are viewing it the same way.
Yes. And that's an important point, guys, is that a lot of people forget that's why I said that we need to understand the why. There's a book that our leadership team is reading called Start With Why by Simon Sinek right now. Start With Why. The whole point of that book is, before you do anything, figure out why you're doing it, because then you will figure out what your core foundational beliefs are, and then you'll know which direction you want to go in. I'll tell you what my two foundational beliefs are. My whys. Number one, I want to help a lot of people and I want to make the world a better place. Number two, I can't stand not being the best that I possibly can be. Those are the two whys behind just about everything I do. Why is Bitcoin in existence? Because inflation is a problem. Because inflation is not a sustainable way to run a currency. And a lot of people in cryptocurrency are invested in cryptocurrency because, oh man, it rallied. Oh man, it went up. Oh man, I can get rich tomorrow. But that's not why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was not created to be a get-rich-quick scheme. Bitcoin wasn't even created to be an investment vehicle. Bitcoin was not created to be digital gold. Bitcoin was created to be a currency that has the same properties of gold, which is limited supply. That is why Bitcoin was created. And since a lot of people don't understand that, they view Bitcoin as just another investment, when in fact, there's only one other investment, anything like Bitcoin, and it's gold. Both of them have a limited supply, but if you don't understand that, as most people don't, even a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't understand that, you lose the reason that we invest in Bitcoin. We need to understand the reason that Bitcoin exists so that we can evangelize the good word of Bitcoin, so we can tell people this is why Bitcoin is valuable to you, and that is where we will see a mass adoption event happening in Bitcoin. And Tim and I believe that that's actually not very far away. No. I know you were talking about that a lot. I want to hear your take on that, Tim.
Before we even get there, so what we need to understand is, everything we just talked about is that Bitcoin is not a stock. It's not a stock. Mm-hmm. You guys know it. We know it. Here's the thing, though, that when we're teaching, the point of this show is to teach mindset and to teach you how to actually profit off of all this, right? It's not good enough to just say, well, I know it's not a stock. We have to know who is thinking it's a stock, and and then to even change their mind, we have to know why they think that's a stock. So we talked about on the show before, what we're really talking about is people like my mom. When my mom asked a lot of questions about it at first, she asked, "Why can I touch it? What do I do with it? It doesn't really seem like, it just seems like sand on the beach, pretty much. I can't do anything with it." And that's just not what that's not what Bitcoin is. But there are people that think that way, and what we have is a large amount of people who, the same way they don't really know what stocks are, they just see things going up and they buy into it because someone else told them to. We have had a lot of people recently buy into Bitcoin, Ethereum, pretty much crypto space, not because they actually know what's happening there, but because they see its stock going up, they see its price going up, their brain, because they don't understand what it actually is and what it does, they just translate to, okay, it's similar to stocks, I put money into it, and after a while, if it goes up, I get more money out. So we have to understand that's what they are thinking, and we have to make sure that we actually help them get out of that mind thinking. So there was actually an article this morning on CoinDesk. So if you guys follow news on CoinDesk, this might not be new to you, but a bank from Germany, or a Deutsche Bank. Yeah, Deutsche Bank. They were actually talking about this. They were talking about looking at Bitcoin and comparing it to like the businesses like Tesla and Apple. First of all, in this article, they talked about we cannot ignore the value of Bitcoin with its market cap growing well over, or not well over, but over $1 trillion. When a company has a market cap over $1 trillion, that is something you cannot ignore. This is what the article was saying, though, is that before people are going to massively jump on the Bitcoin train, we have to see it do some things. And so it talked about Tesla. 18 months ago, Tesla was a very, very interesting, fun, and fast-moving company. But there was still a debate about it. There was still a debate, is this actually the car of the future? Is this actually going to be where we go with this, right? I think Bitcoin is in a similar place. I think crypto is in a similar place that Tesla was 18 months ago, to where it looks really fun and exciting. People can't ignore that it's growing. People can't ignore that it looks fascinating. But they still have questions. And a lot of people debated, is Tesla worth investing in? Fast forward 18 months, that has been answered. I think some people might still have questions, but it's not a question of if Tesla's the car of the future. It's the question is now like, all right, where does Tesla go next, and who else can keep up with them, right? It's the same thing with Bitcoin. Right now, we are sitting in a place where a lot of people are debating the value of Bitcoin. They're debating, as exciting as this is, as cool as this could be, where does it go next, right? This is actually super cool because similar to Tesla, Apple was in the same boat too. Apple was in the boat of like very exciting, but we don't know where it is yet. Now, there's no question Apple's a massive company. What this article talks about is right now we have to understand Bitcoin, as cool as it is at least in 2020, was only being traded, 150% of it was being traded back and forth. Now that sounds like a lot, but to put that in perspective, Apple is being traded at like 270%. So 270, 150, Bitcoin is massively behind Apple's trading value. And what we're seeing there is when something is traded that frequently, when that much of it is being traded regularly, it actually builds a lot of validity, and it has a security to it that people love. So while those of us on this channel see what Bitcoin is, we know what it's supposed to do, and we see where it's going, we have a faith until that trading number goes up. Just like Apple at first and Tesla at first, they weren't trading that much. As they grew and more people had foundation and more people understood what was actually happening and the debate was solved, that's what led to its validity. And that's what we're gonna have to see happen with Bitcoin. And what I'm saying, and you guys need to know, is the only thing stopping Bitcoin from being that is its usage and its adoption. The only thing that was stopping Tesla or Apple from being what they are now is the fact that it had to get into more hands and it had to be utilized for what it was actually worth, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is not a stock. It is a currency. What are we looking at right now? We're looking at the US dollar become inflated. Probably I'm not even that up to date with other dollars, but we're watching other currencies be inflated. The purpose of Bitcoin was to fight that, but as long as it is viewed as a stock and it is not necessarily accepted by people like my mom and people who just don't really fully understand it, it will continue to flow like the stocks, right? But here's the cool thing, is as soon as it starts getting used as currency, which we are months away, not years, we are months away. We have the future mayor of New York City and the current mayor of Miami, two of the biggest cities in the entire world, with a massive plan to adopt and to use Bitcoin and how they exchange and how they pay their taxes and it kind of revitalize the economy. As soon as people start seeing it get exchanged, as soon as people like my mom see, oh, I can pay this much and get this back, and then I can make this much for doing this job, that's when the usage and the validity of Bitcoin will skyrocket. And that is when Bitcoin, just like Tesla exploded, just like Apple exploded, Bitcoin will explode. What's crazy is we don't have that usage, and Bitcoin has already exploded this year. Imagine what will happen when we actually start using it for its purpose of currency.
Yeah, and guys, that's what you have to understand. The reason that we're talking about the why of Bitcoin is because, let me put it this way. Tesla is now, I think, if it's not the first most valuable car company, it's the second most valuable car company. It's either behind Toyota and Ford, or it's right there on the heels. Tesla did not become a massive car company because people thought about it like another car company. Tesla became a massive car company because it was looked at as an innovative, disruptive company that was more than a car company, that had a strong foundational why. Why is Tesla in business? Not to make money. You might think, well, Tesla's worth so much money. They make billions of dollars. They're in business to make money. No, they're not in business to make money. Elon Musk himself has said, I don't care if Tesla completely goes out of business so long as the world switches to electric cars to help curb the threat of climate change. That is their why. Their why is not to make money. Most of these older corporations like Ford and Toyota and Microsoft, a lot of these companies have forgotten why they're in business. Tesla is extremely crystal clear on why they're in business. They want to curb carbon emissions. They want to stop the downfall of the Earth into a climate crisis. That's why they're in business. And that why drives the charisma of Elon Musk. It drives the charisma of Tesla. It gives them a higher purpose and a higher calling, and it's why people buy Tesla. People don't buy Teslas because they make electric cars. People buy Teslas because they want to fight climate change. In the same way, right now, everyone is buying Bitcoin because they want to make money, but that's not why Bitcoin exists. Bitcoin exists to fight inflation. That's why Bitcoin is so successful in third world countries where their currencies are getting demolished, because people understand the reason that Bitcoin exists is to fight inflation. Therefore, I'm going to buy it because of the why. People in third world countries where their currencies are being demolished are not interested in buying stocks. Why? Because they care about anti-inflation assets such as Bitcoin. In the first world, where we're not really having to worry about that right now, and it's not in our consciousness, we're not thinking about that inflation component. We're just thinking, how do we make a lot of money? And that's the thing right now, is that even without people buying into Bitcoin because of a strong foundational why, even without people buying into Tesla because they're a car company, think about it like this. If people only bought into Tesla because they were just another car company, they might be worth $100 billion. People buy into Tesla because they want to fight climate change. Have you seen the license plate on literally any Tesla? They're like, buy gas. It's always something really annoying, just so you know. I respect Teslas, but goodness gracious, you guys love your Teslas. It's because they understand the why. People aren't buying Bitcoin right now because they want to fight inflation. People are buying Bitcoin right now because they want to make money, and that's well and good and fine and dandy. But until that changes, which is coming soon, we are not going to see mass adoption on Bitcoin. But the good news is it is coming very fast, because there's a crisis coming to the US dollar. The amount of money we have printed over the last year and a half due to the COVID pandemic will have ramifications, and it will hurt the US dollar in the long run, and it will open people's eyes to the need for Bitcoin and its anti-inflationary core principle, its core why for being in existence. People will start to understand why Bitcoin needs to be adopted, and that day when that starts to happen is when mass adoption begins, and when the dominoes start to fall, and when we talk about $1 million price targets on Bitcoin, that is when those come about, is when people understand the true reason that Bitcoin exists in the first place is to secure us against tyrannical governments and inflationary monetary policy. Once people understand that, that's when Bitcoin takes off. So let's throw it back to chat here for just a second, see if we have any good questions. There are several other points I think we want to make, Tim. But, yeah, let's see. Is there anything going on in chat? Anyone have any good questions on any of that? Let's see here. Tesla number 6 after Toyota, MB, Honda, Hyundai, BMW. Tesla is the first car company in nearly 100 years to breach into the car market. They're the fastest growing car company on the planet, and the reason they are is because they understand why they're in business. As soon as we as a cryptocurrency community start to truly understand why Bitcoin is in existence and why we should care about it, that is when those dominoes start to fall. Let's see here.
Yeah, I see a question here.
Go for it, May.
Somebody asked Tim, do you think Visa, PayPal, etc. is helping mass adoption?
The truth is, I'm not even going to answer that because I don't know I want to make sure not to answer questions I haven't done a lot of research on.
Sure.
So if you've done research on that, you can answer that question. But what I can do is I will look into it. That one I don't have an answer to.
So I will answer that. Are Tesla, MasterCard, Visa, these large payment processors, helping with the adoption of Bitcoin? Is that the full question, or is there any other context?
That was the question. Yep.
Okay. I would say yes, because a lot of these companies have come out launching adoption for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. Visa has talked about it. MasterCard's talked about it. I don't know if American Express has talked about it at all. I would imagine they have. These major... let me put it this way. Visa and MasterCard are not in the business of transacting US dollars. Visa and MasterCard are in the business of building infrastructure upon which currencies operate. That's what business they're in. So as Bitcoin becomes mass adopted, those three companies, Visa, American Express, and MasterCard, will be major on-ramps for Bitcoin to be widespread. As soon as we see something like a Visa or a MasterCard cryptocurrency debit card come out, oh my gosh, we're all going to make so much money because Bitcoin is going to explode. Those companies work in the currency business. So are they going to help mass adopt Bitcoin? I think if the writing is on the wall and Bitcoin is starting to become mass adopted, they're not going to want to miss their chance. In the same way that Apple came up and they said, hey, look, personal computing is becoming a thing. Computers are getting small enough that they can be in everyone's house. Let's ride this wave. That's what Visa and MasterCard are going to do, is they're going to see, hey, this is the shift, and if they're smart, they are going to move in that direction, and they are going to start adopting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and they are going to start allowing for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to operate on their native platforms. And if that happens, every single retailer on planet Earth can adopt Bitcoin tomorrow. It'd be one of the biggest adoption news stories in history for Bitcoin. And if that happens, it's a big if, it hasn't happened yet, but if that happens, Bitcoin could double overnight. And I'm not exaggerating. I am dead serious.
Yeah, I want to... Go
ahead.
I maybe misunderstood the question. I thought they were asking, did it already help? Like, did Bitcoin see a boost or a decline because of it? If we're talking, will it? I mean, just logically, like we talked about this a little bit in our planning meeting this morning. We talked about how at the moment, there was a time where cash was phenomenal. And when I say cash, I'm not just talking dollars. I'm talking actual dollar bills, coins, physical, I can hold in my hand. There was a time when that was massive. Like, if you didn't have cash on you, you weren't going to make it places. And then we started moving to the debit card, and now it's like, who carries cash anymore? Shannon does. Shannon, it drops out of his pocket.
Yes, he drops money all over the place. It's silly.
But
he's always done that.
But I can't remember the last time that I actually was carrying cash on. I got cash for my birthday from like my grandmother or something. And I took it to the bank and I put it into my account so I could use a debit card. Now people are using their phones. Like, people don't even carry debit cards.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that's a well understood thing with economists, is the transition from a cashless society. This is something that I think Norway, it might be Sweden, Norway is working on, is building their entire currency infrastructure around a cashless society. Well, guess what Bitcoin is? It's a cashless currency that is also anti-inflation. We've moved from, I just saw someone do it yesterday with the Apple Watch. You can just go, ding, pay, boom. How easy was that? We've moved from gold and silver coins, number one, to cash, to debit and credit cards, and now we're moving away from debit and credit cards to your watch and your phone. What comes next? What is the next logical step for currency? Inflation-hardened currencies like Bitcoin.
Literally, when I was at Disney, I didn't pull my wallet out once. And I literally booped everything with my Apple Watch, and I was just vibing.
Exactly.
And with that, just to say something, you said when they implement a debit card, they are actually working on that now.
I know they are.
Like, that's
I know.
Stuff, like, that's stuff that they're like, that is happening in the next 2 years.
Yes.
Like, for sure.
And that's why we're saying that huge mass adoption events are going on right now behind the scenes. We are not several years away from this kind of thing anymore. We are on the precipice of this. Guys, all we need is a couple of major companies like Visa and MasterCard to finish the plans they already have of coming out with crypto debit cards and crypto adoption technologies, and Bitcoin goes mainstream. Right now, maybe 1% of the population even understands what Bitcoin is, let alone understands why it's important. And it's one of the largest currency markets on the planet now. It's $1 trillion market. There's not a lot of markets that can say that. Gold is only worth, I think, $8 trillion. We've been mining it for the last 6,000 years, and it's only worth 8 times as much as Bitcoin that was created 12 years ago by some dude we don't even know the real name of. The fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is going places, guys. And the reason it is because it was built on a core foundational principle of limited supply. Because if you read the book The Bitcoin Standard by Safadine Amos. That book will explain it very clearly, the concept of agri-beads. Let me tell you a brief story and then we're going to move on. Right before the West African slave trade started and slaves were taken over to the New World, the Portuguese sailed south and they started exploring the West African part of the African continent. They found a lot of tribes. They found several empires down there and they started trading with them. Those empires, Mali was one of them, used something called agri-beads. They were little glass beads as their currency. Well, the problem was that there was not glass making technology in the region. They would get these glass beads from around Israel and Palestine. They'd get them from Europe. They weren't able to make it on their own. So they weren't able to increase the supply of their own currency, so they didn't have to worry about inflation. They didn't have to worry about every agri-bead being worth less. They didn't have to worry about economic collapse like Rome has gone through and some nations in Polynesia have gone through, like they would end up going through. What the Portuguese did is they went back up to their own country and they started mass producing literally hundreds of millions of little glass beads because that was the currency down there, and they flooded the market. They caused a hyperinflationary event and they collapsed the currency in West Africa. It destroyed the economy, and from that destruction, the West African slave trade started because the entire area went into economic systems collapse. That is the reason that inflation is an issue, is because while inflation has allowed for the modern world to be built, it is not sustainable, and the US dollar is built on the back of just accepting 2% inflation year over year. Bitcoin was designed to be somewhere that we can move when that inevitably bites us in the tail. It is surprising that we've managed to be off the gold standard for almost 100 years now, and we still haven't felt huge ramifications for it. We feel 2% every single year. It is surprising that the Federal Reserve has managed to hold up a currency built on a foundation of sand for so very long. And the only reason it's happened is because the US dollar is the world reserve currency. The only reason it's happened is because the US government still holds hegemony over currencies around the world. And so long as that's true, we'll probably be fine. We have China rising right now. We have the European Union rising right now. The euro is rising. Things are changing geopolitically, and as that happens, the hegemony of the US dollar is threatened. And where do people go when the US dollar starts to feel the burden of inflationary monetary policy? They go to Bitcoin, and it's happening faster than you think it is because we printed money out of thin air too long, and it's going to catch up with us. And Bitcoin is the place we go.
No, that is absolutely true. And here's the thing. I think Smay offered a great question this morning during the planning meeting. He said, what if there are people out there who are wondering about this whole thing because in their mind it's like, hey, grab Bitcoin and hodl. I don't want to pay for things with Bitcoin because I want to keep that as it continues to grow and it continues to grow and continues to grow. This is what people need to understand. If someone commented Bitcoin is dropping a little bit right now, that happens. Right now we have volatility. It'll rise, it will fall. It'll rise, it will fall. The greatest investments, and that includes stocks, are when they start getting to a place where the volatility decreases. So I don't want to pay a certain percentage of Bitcoin for a carton of milk that tomorrow would have bought me a car, right? But when the volatility decreases and it becomes more stable, the way currency becomes stable is when people will actually have that mindset of, I'm not going to just hodl, I'm going to keep my Bitcoin and I'm going to keep high levels of it, but I'm going to use it because I know I can spend money on this and I will get it back quickly. The problem at the moment with Bitcoin is that the only way to really get it is to go into a trading platform or to go into a trading space and purchase it, right? There isn't a lot of exchanges. So while there is a way, people pay for CT2A with Bitcoin, so they are spending Bitcoin, but the issue is, there could be a fear of like, if I spend this right now, it's going to take a little bit more from me to get it back later. And that's the point. Like right now, that volatility is one of the drawbacks of Bitcoin. And what we're saying is the more we use it, as we move into these areas where we're using it on a daily basis, that volatility will decrease, the value will go up because it's stable, because it's like gold, rather than the US dollar, where today you buy gas for, I think here in Florida it's like $2.80 something, but then who knows, 3 months from now it might be over $3, It's going to actually be a decrease. So I think we should be actually moving to Bitcoin quicker because it'll allow us to actually not only stabilize Bitcoin, but stabilize ourselves and move ourselves onto a more consistent and better platform. And we don't have to worry about the inflation of the US dollar. We don't have to worry about losing our value because that's a big thing. Like if I spend money on this right now, is it not going to be valuable tomorrow? Like that story of, oh my gosh, the guy who bought like $30 million pizza or something
yes,
like that? Like,
it's more than that by now.
Because he used so much Bitcoin that at the moment was worth nothing. And now it's like, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. So the end point of this whole video, not the end point of what we're doing, but the end point of what we're talking about with Bitcoin, this is the time to buy. Like, this is the time to buy. People are always asking, am I too late? Am I too late? Am I too late? Am I too late? You guys, look at what happened to Cardano. And yes, it's pulled back, but look at what happened to Cardano recently. There are people who bought in when it was 1, 2, 3 cents, right? And then it jumped up to 40, 50 cents. And there were people saying, oh no, oh, look at that jump. Am I too late? Am I too late? And then it jumped up over $1. And people are like, oh my gosh, if I had just bought at 40 cents, oh, am I too late? Am I too late? And it hovered there for a while. And then boom, in one day it jumps to 125. Oh no, am I too late? And the next day it jumps to 147. Oh no, Stop asking, am I too late? Find out the fundamentals, learn how to read the technicals, and get in. Like right now, Bitcoin is sitting at, just so you guys know this very second, 58,243 is what I see. Even if it drops below 50, because I've seen people say like, oh, if it breaks this support line, it could drop down to 43 or not 43. I think it was 53. But let's say it even dropped lower to 49, 48. If you bought in right now, yes, you'll lose some, but don't think short game. Think long term. Think about when it will hit 100. Think about when it'll hit 200. Think about when it'll hit 1 million. Because just like those people getting into Cardano, asking, am I too late? Am I too late? And putting it off to the next day, those who bought it $1 or 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent are super, super happy. Those who bought it 40 cents are super happy. Those who bought it $1 are super happy. And guess what? It's going to keep going. Same thing with Bitcoin. People that Jeb bought it when it was just only a couple thousand. I bought when it was at 11,000. We know people that bought 20,000, 30,000. We are all happy. Some of us more happy than others, but it's because we bought sooner than the rest of us. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for a month from now. Don't say, well, I'll wait till the next dip before I get in. If you see a dip, buy more. But don't wait till tomorrow. Do it today. You're not too late.
And guys, I just want to show you a chart really quickly. This right here is called the penetration of target market. This is what is known as the S-curve of adoption. We're right here. You see my mouse? This is my mouse right here. We're right here. We are barely entering the early adopter phase of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption. Let me ask you a question. How many people do you know that know the word Bitcoin? Let's say you know 100 people, maybe 15 of them have actually heard the word Bitcoin. Of those 15 people, I bet you have one friend who won't shut up about it. I bet you have one. Give me a 1 in chat if you know one guy that just will not shut up about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I count. Like, you can say me, we're friends, we're all cool here. I bet you have one guy that won't shut up about it. What he is called an innovator. He's called an enthusiast. Those are the people that adopt something at the beginning just because it's cool. Those are the people that say, hey, this new technology is coming out. I want it. I'm going to go stand in line and I'm going to wait for an iPhone for 12 hours so that I can have the pride of saying, I was the first one that had the new iPhone. I was the first one that took this. That's about 3.5% of the population. If you look at psychology, they are called early adopters. They are on the left side of the bell curve. That's the right for you. They're on the left side of the bell curve. They are the people that adopt it first. Those are the people that adopted Bitcoin in 2013. Those are the visionaries. Those are the people that see well into the future. Those are the people that see, wow, this could become something. I want to be first. I want to be showing people how to get in here. We are starting to get into the era of early adopters. That's the next 10% of that chart I just showed you. That's the next 10% of people, those early adopters. We are here. Let's look at this as a price chart right now. Maybe we go to $100,000. At $100,000, we're still barely through the early adopter phase. Guys, this is when we talk about $5 million. The reason is because maybe 1%. That is probably generous. Maybe 1% understands Bitcoin. Because quite frankly, a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't even understand Bitcoin themselves. They're only here because a friend of theirs said, hey, look at Bitcoin. It's up 10x over the last 12 months. And then they're like, oh, cool, I want to buy that. It takes people a while to actually figure out why Bitcoin is important. Bitcoin is important because it's inflationary hardening. It is not an inflationary currency like the US dollar. That's why it's valuable. A lot of people in cryptocurrency don't even understand that. And that's okay, but that's our point, is that education is the only thing standing in the way of an insane rally on Bitcoin moving into the long-term future. Because as soon as people realize, hey, the inflationary monetary policy that our governments have adopted is factually dangerous. Study the fall of Polynesia. Study the fall of the West African empires and how the West African slave trade started. Follow the systems collapse that happened in Rome. Follow the systems collapse that happened in the Bronze Age collapse. You study history, and what you find is when currencies get hyperinflated, civilizations fall apart. It's when the Dark Age started, was when Rome fell apart. Why did Rome fall apart? Because their currency fell apart. It is dangerous. It's why Bitcoin exists. It's the first time in human history, ever since the advent of the discovery of gold, that this has ever happened. And as more and more people understand that, as that becomes a widespread idea, as it is right now, huge movements on Bitcoin are coming, and there is a massive amount of money to be made. So when people are asking, am I too late? Someone said we should make a t-shirt that says, am I too late? I think that's a fantastic idea. That'd be really funny, actually.
That would be funny.
That's a good idea, whoever said that. Are you too late? No, you're not too late. You, my friend, are in the internet in 1993. You, my friend, are in the automobile in 1910. You, my friend, are in the airline industry in 1920. You are not too late. Did you miss the first 10 years? Yeah. Who cares? You're not too late. There's plenty to go. Most people have never even heard of Bitcoin, and that is a fact we need to keep in mind. Tim, what do you think about that?
I agree.
Just agree? Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just
No.
agree.
What do we see about, let's look at some comments. Let's open the floor for a couple of questions and answers. We've been talking about some kind of high-level theory stuff in today's live stream. I want to open the floor for any questions, any clarifying questions, anything that we can help you guys to understand. And from there, we're likely going to move on to some blank-to-bank 2-minute technicals on Ethereum. So let us know. Now's your chance. If you have anything you want us to answer directly, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. And my friends here will help me to find some of those questions. What do we got?
SK ask, when summer?
When
Yeah,
summer?
when summer?
If you're in Florida,
After spring.
if you're in Florida, it's 11 months out of the year. One of my teachers in high school said that the 4 seasons of Florida are as follows: summer, 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 February, summer, summer, summer. That's how the seasons in Florida work. Well, actually, I take that back. That's actually the day. So you start the day in winter, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to spring around 10 a.m. Then you're in summer until like 12 o'clock at night for some reason.
We have a season in Florida called rain.
Yes, we have a season in Florida called rain. I like that, absolutely.
So I have another
summer?
question.
Go ahead.
Somebody asked, is CT2A, the skills you learn in it, applicable to stocks and other other forms of investing.
Yes. So while Bitcoin and the stock market are two very different things, they are analyzed in a very similar manner. There's two types of analysis that you need to learn: technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is understanding what is this thing, how does it apply in the world, what is the market for this, why would people use this. That's fundamental analysis. Technical analysis is reading the price action chart. Technical analysis is what we teach in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. It is incredibly important. We've talked about before about how it's like being able to count cards in Vegas while you're playing blackjack. You're not going to make every single play correctly, but if you make 52% of your trades correctly, eventually you're going to start making money. So we're basically teaching you how to cheat the system and make money consistently over the course of hundreds and thousands of trades with technical analysis in CT2A. The links for that in the description down below. Everything we've talked about in today's video is taught down there. Technical analysis is completely applicable to the stock market, to the Forex market, and to the cryptocurrency market. So yes, if you're invested in stocks, CT2A, even though we talk about Bitcoin, is really a technical analysis course, which is almost identical in the stock market as it is in crypto. So great question. Good question, guys.
And to answer your question, SA1SA, this is Luka Doncic. Just to answer your question.
SA1SA. Salsa, I guess?
I don't know how to say
Salsa?
that.
I guess his name's Salsa. That's interesting. Yeah, Salsa. What do you got, Tim? You say anything?
There was two questions. One of them was directed probably to me, and then the other one I could answer. So the first one is, why was I wearing a URI shirt the other day? I have a brother who plays football for URI, the University of Rhode Island. He is the tight end. I think I said that the other day on the show. Shout out to Caleb Bourne. So that's the answer as to why I was wearing a URI sweatshirt. Not from New Jersey, but just
Joyzy.
Now, someone asked, why did Cardano drop the other day? And I actually think this is a very fascinating question. And we didn't make this as part of our discussion because it would take a whole lot to go into the full details. At the end of the day, very, very quickly, that's probably what it should have done. Like, that's actually what we thought. Like, when we made our predictions the other day that it was jumping up, I was right. It went farther than I thought. I put $1.40, went to 147. I knew it was going to go up and then drop a little bit. I didn't know maybe all the way back down to 124, but I figured it would drive really hard and then correct. And now we're going back up. I think last time I saw it was hitting close to 127. Okay, I saw 129 not too long ago. So for those asking that question, or those wondering about Cardano, what it's doing, we saw with that news of the Coinbase Pro adoption a massive spike because now we have more ability to actually get our hands on it. So that's why you saw those 2-day spikes, and then we see it had to correct. It had to come back down, and now that volatility is not going to be so severe, so it can slowly start increasing again, which is actually phenomenal. So that's why it dropped.
Exactly. So what a lot of people say to that is that they'll say, buy the news, sell the release. What that means is that you hear the news, great. Everybody gets hyped up. Everybody goes and buys because there's euphoria in the market. You probably heard that term, euphoria. When people get euphoric, what do? They go and buy. But what happens after they've just made 50% because of all that euphoria driving the price up? They sell. At the end of the day, Cardano being listed on Coinbase led to a massive spike short-term. Long-term, it's increased its underlying intrinsic value in such a way that eventually Cardano will be dragged up further and further and further. But the hype is gone. Everybody already knows it's been put on Coinbase Pro. It's not on there yet, but everybody knows it's going to be listed on Coinbase Pro and hopefully on Coinbase. The hype has come out. Everybody got euphoric. Everybody bought, and then everybody said, oh, I just made 50%. I'm going to sell. So you always expect a correction. Whenever news comes out, you expect a giant rally and then a correction that is normally smaller than the rally, but you do expect a correction. This is what happens literally every single time a big piece of news comes out that moves the market. Is you see a rally and 2 days later you see a dump. That's just the way it works. So nothing to be concerned about there. The underlying value of Cardano has only gotten better. Good question though. Yep.
Before we move to 2-minute technicals, because we do need to get there.
Yep.
The last question I want to answer for people, and Jeff, if you want to chime in on real quick, should someone ask like, hey, should I invest? I'm kind of timid, like I'm kind of scared of it. Should I do it? This is the answer you will always hear. So if you guys aren't even commenting, you're just watching this video and you have that same question like, oh, should I invest? Like I'm just a little scared. I'm not sure. The answer is not yes or no. The answer is actually, it depends on who you are and what you have. Jeb is very clear that he is not a financial advisor. We are not financial advisors. We are not going to tell you how much or exactly when. We will tell you what we're doing and we will give you great advice. But one of the things I've heard Jeb say several times is when you're investing, especially if you're investing long term, trading is a different game. If you're investing long term, imagine you took that money and you took it out to your yard and you set it on fire and you're never going to see it again, right? If you need money to live off of, keep that money. Do not invest that. Do not go, get a second mortgage on your house. Do not go get a loan from a mobster. You know, like any money that you don't need in your life and you're like, I want to see where this can go. That's when you go take advice from people, you listen to wisdom, and then you make your own decision of what you're comfortable investing. But do not invest any more than you are actually comfortable. Like if it were to go to zero, you're going to be completely fine.
It's called the golden rule of investment, guys. So keep that in mind. It's called the golden rule for a reason because it is literally the very most, it is the foundation of investing. So anything you hear on this channel is secondary to what I'm about to say. If you can't afford to lose the money, don't invest it. It's the golden rule of investment. If you're scared, the answer isn't yes or no. The answer is figure out what you're able to lose. And whether or not only are you able to lose, because by the way, this is something that we don't even talk about that much. Not only are you able to lose this money and still pay your bills, are you able to lose that money and not have a nervous breakdown? Because that's another thing, is that some people, they lose money and they might be completely fine. They might be set for life, but they're going to get really, really concerned and scared. If you're very timid, investment is something that you do have to take a little bit of courage to do. So if you lose that money, and you can still pay your bills, but you're really scared and you're sad and you regret it and you're never going to forgive yourself, then yeah, that's another reason that you might not want to invest. It's the golden rule of crypto. Don't invest something that you can't afford to lose, both monetarily and I guess in this case, emotionally. So keep that in mind. It's a great question. Yep. Anything else, or can we move on to 2-minute technicals?
We're going to be moving to 2-minute technicals, but real quick, if you guys have liked this, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe for more content like this. If you dislike it, you can hit the dislike button twice.
Yes, just so we know you hate it.
That's fine with us. We even love you. If you hate us, we still love you. That's okay. Before we move on, though, I do want to make sure you guys know, if you're still looking for a platform to trade on, like you've been hearing us talk about all this, if you're still not really sure, because we get that question a lot, what should we use? Our advice and our wisdom would be this. If you are outside of the United States, Bybit is a phenomenal platform. And there's actually an affiliate link down below that you can click on, especially if you want to support us. You can click on that link and trade on there. If you're inside the United States, though, we do recommend either Binance US, which we've been talking about, or in light of the Cardano news the other day, Coinbase Pro is another option that you could go to. Those ones we don't have affiliate links for. That's just us saying that's what we use, right? So that being said, we are about to move into 2-minute technicals, which is where, if you're new to the show, Jeb is going to look at, I think today we're going...
Ethereum.
Well, let's start with ADA.
Okay.
Right, we're going to start with ADA, and then we're going to go to Ethereum, and he will show you how he actually goes through his process and what he's thinking in making those forms. So, without further ado...
Let's go ahead and dive right on into it, guys. Let's go ahead and jump straight on to the Cardano chart, and we will start off with some blank-to-bank 2-minute technicals on ADA USD. So let's get started, guys. The very first thing we have to do when we're doing blank-to-bank technical analysis on any chart is we have to figure out where our levels of support and resistance are. Namely, we have a level of resistance at $1.49 on Cardano USD. The reason for that is because those are our two current all-time highs. We double-topped up there. We also have a strong level of support, a horizontal level of support sitting at 97 cents and $1 respectively. These two levels down here create what we call a zone of support, holding Cardano up. You may know that Cardano has been trading sideways in between $1 and $1.50 for the last month and a half or so, ever since mid-February. At the end of the day, guys, we saw this massive news come out on Cardano, and it's going to throw the technicals off, so let's focus on that. Cardano rallied all the way from $1 to $1.50, and that makes sense because the fundamentals can sometimes override the technicals. In doing so, Cardano set its MACD on a course for bullishness. We are looking at a potential bullish MACD cross on Cardano. Cardano only needs to maintain support and rally just another day or two, and we will have that bullish cross on MACD. RSI has plenty of room to run. We can see that RSI is sitting just under 60, and if RSI does decide that it wants to move to the upside because Cardano is rallying, Cardano has plenty of room to run on that. Looking at some other technicals like the 20 daily EMA, we can see that Cardano, as of 3 days ago, with the Coinbase news, broke bullish above the 20 daily exponential moving average, meaning that we have a strong level of support on Cardano. Looking at the volume, we can see the last 3 days volume has been incredibly strong, and we can also see from the Bollinger Bands that we are starting to see a widening of the Bollinger Bands, meaning we're having volatility come back into the cryptocurrency market of Cardano. Needless to say, guys, Cardano's technicals are subservient to its fundamentals right now, and its fundamentals are incredibly strong. Not only are its fundamentals incredibly strong, its fundamentals are causing its technicals to be incredibly strong. Cardano is a very healthy market right now. Like we said, Cardano went into a big rally because of the news, but the hype has now died down. Everybody now knows that Cardano is going to be listed on Coinbase Pro, so everybody's chilled out. Everybody has taken their profits. The underlying value of Cardano has now gone up because it has another on-ramp for adoption in the cryptocurrency space, which is a very good thing long-term. but we've seen the volatility kind of drop as far as massive hype-based news. All of that to say, Cardano looks like it looks like Cardano is in a very healthy position right now, and our prediction of a $2 Cardano in the next 30 days, I do believe is going to come true. I actually think it might happen a lot faster than that. By the way, I completely misspoke in yesterday's video. I think I said at the very end of the video, my price prediction is 30 cents on Cardano. I meant to say 30 days. I said 30 cents. My official prediction on Cardano, I made a story on YouTube to clarify this. My official prediction on Cardano is, I almost said 30 cents. I'm getting the days and the cents mixed up, guys, is $2 within the next 7 to 30 days. That is my prediction on Cardano. Anywho, hopefully that was insightful.
Words are hard sometimes.
Words are hard sometimes when you're talking to like when I'm basically just rapping live here on stream with the way I talk. It is kind of ridiculous. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and talk about Cardano just a little bit. Any questions on Cardano, anything that you would like for us to clarify, please let us know in the chat box on the side of your screen. Good deal, guys. What do we see going on in chat? How's everybody doing? I'm going to read chat myself also.
Somebody said Cardano is pure, almost pure fantasy. How do you react to that?
Actually, Smay, I'm going to let you answer that. How do you react to that?
How do I react?
Great reaction.
Yeah, you know what? In a way, you're not necessarily wrong. It's very speculative, but so is a lot of cryptocurrencies. So at this point, it's like, I'm confident that it, like we talked about this so many times, so I'm really not even going to spend that much time talking about it. But essentially, it's like, if a project has a good backing and that has a kind of good track record, Charles Hodgson helped work on Ethereum, so like he has a track record, we've seen it, then I don't see, yeah, it's very speculative right now. But I think at the same time, it really has a great opportunity to be what it claims it's going to be.
To say it is speculative does not automatically just cancel it out.
Seriously.
We just talked about in this video, Tesla was speculative 18 months ago. How speculative is that right now?
The internet was speculative in 1993. How speculative is it now?
You don't just say, I hope something is going to become something. You look at the fundamentals, you look at the project, you look at who the leader of it is. Also, projects, products, no matter what, stocks, crypto, will only go so far as they're led very well. So that's a very good thing to look at. No matter whether you invest in crypto or stocks or whatever you do, look at who is leading it and who the forefront is. That's very, very important. But yeah, like, is it speculative right now? Yes, but that doesn't stop it from being valuable. And that the truth is, the people that make money are the ones that get involved on something when it's simply speculative. You don't wait until it becomes legit to get involved and then make a lot of money. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, a lot of people have this. A lot of people in cryptocurrency have this idea that I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to take a lot of risk. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but high returns require high risk. That's where you get the high returns from. A lot of people want to say, oh, I want no risk, but I want all the reward. I want to have my cake and I want to eat it too. I want to have my business, but I don't want to work for it. That's not how it works. If you want a big business, if you want a big name, you're going to have to work for it. If you want a high return on an investment, you're going to have to risk something. At the end of the day, the reason things are risky is because they are speculative. So don't be scared of something just because it's speculative. Just because Cardano hasn't fully developed yet is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing for us because it means we actually have an opportunity to make money in it. If Cardano was fully fleshed out and completely adopted, there would be no returns yet, guys. Cardano is speculative in the same way Bitcoin is still speculative. We are speculating that eventually people will understand how valuable an anti-inflationary currency like Bitcoin is. It hasn't fully happened yet. We are all speculating on every single cryptocurrency. So as far as leveling speculative at a cryptocurrency like Cardano, you can level that at the entire cryptocurrency market. You could level that at Apple in 1983. You could level that at the internet in 1993. You could level that at Ford Motor Company in 1910. You're not wrong. Yes, it's speculative. And yes, that company or that industry or that currency might fail. But just because it's speculative doesn't mean it's going to. Everything that ever succeeded was at one point speculative. At one point, some people were sitting around saying, I don't know about this fire thing. I feel like that's going to be dangerous. I feel like that's going to hurt my kids. I feel like that's not going to be very helpful. I don't want to go out and collect firewood. At one point, people were speculative of penicillin, saying, I don't know about all that. Putting mold in my body so that I can fight a disease that I can't even see. I'm very speculated about that. That's very speculative. Speculative is not a valid argument against a project. It just isn't. Now, if you want to say that the project is speculative and it has a terrible backing and it has terrible leaders, that's different. If you say it's speculative and there is no strong leadership there and they have no way to do what they say they want to do, that's different. Just because it hasn't happened yet is not a knock against it. Things take time to develop.
Yeah. I'm just going to say this, guys. Just because we just said this does not mean, oh, all cryptocurrencies are speculative. Let's go and invest in 365 booty coin numbers, you know. No.
Oh my
no,
goodness.
guys. Actually do your research on coins. Just because it's speculative doesn't mean, you know, don't go to like all the way down, don't go all the way down to the list of an exchange and be like, that coin, it's going to be a great coin. Actually kind of wager that, but in the same way, all cryptocurrencies are pretty much speculative.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and move on to 2-minute technicals on Ethereum, and that's going to wrap us out for today. I'm going to jump on over to the Ethereum chart, and we're going to do some basic bank-to-bank technical analysis on Ethereum. This is where we're starting, but this is where we are going, guys. We need to go ahead and define our levels of resistance. We have a level of resistance sitting at $2,040, and we have a level of resistance sitting at $1,940. These are local highs on Ethereum, and there are the levels to beat. We also have a level of support sitting at $1,720. This is the level of support that we have been held up by for the last 15 days or so. We also see that there's a level of support down at $1,400. That is our previous all-time high, if you know. We also see that that we saw that Ethereum came down and tested that relatively recently. Zooming into the 4-hourly chart, we can see that Ethereum is moving into something that we would know as a head and shoulders pattern. We can see that there's a left shoulder right here, a head right here, and a right shoulder right here. What this indicates is that Ethereum, in lack of some kind of news or fundamental development or some kind of major adoption going on, is likely going to see a correction. Now, if we get something that overrides that, like Bitcoin goes into a massive rally or Cardano gets accepted by the European Union, I don't know, make it up and decide if you like it or not. The point is, if something crazy happens, yes, Ethereum could go into a massive rally. Right now, the technicals are not necessarily saying that. Looking at the daily chart, we can see that the MACD is crossing bearish tomorrow unless anything changes. Remember, guys, MACD is very powerful, and you would be wise to listen to it so long as there's nothing overriding it. Right now, there's nothing overriding the bearish MACD cross that we're having happen on Ethereum, so in light of that, we need to pay close attention to that. We can see the RSI sitting around 54, not much to write home about there. We can go either direction and we won't get overextended for quite a while. That's well and good. One thing that I'm very concerned about on Ethereum is its volume. You can see the last month and a half, we have seen consistently declining volume on Ethereum. And you might say, Jeb, well, the reason that we're seeing declining volume is because we're in a symmetrical triangle pattern. That's very true, and that's something I want to show you. Ethereum is sitting in a triangle pattern right here. We can see a general uptrend of support right there, and we can also see a general downtrend of resistance right here. And this is why I'm saying that Ethereum has a chance to have a major break to the downside. We're in the symmetrical triangle pattern. If this head and shoulders pattern continues to play out, we could very easily break down to $1,400. If, however, something comes in and fundamentally shakes up Ethereum and puts the gas back in the tank for it, it could definitely break bullish here and rally up to 1940 to 2040 and beyond. The question is right now which one of those is going to happen. Since we don't have anything on the horizon that is indicating massive bullishness on Ethereum, we have to bet with the information that we have on hand right now, which is bearish. So let me say that again. I am bearish on Ethereum for the next few days, in light of the understanding that if something changes, like, for example, we were bearish on Cardano, and then Coinbase decided that they're going to list it. Okay, well, we couldn't have known that when we made our call. If tomorrow Ethereum gets adopted by, I don't know, China or something, and it takes over the yen, if something like that occurs, then yes, Ethereum's going to rally. With the information at hand right now, we have to make a bearish prediction on Ethereum. As much as I am loving Ethereum, as much as I think it's a great project, as much as I do think that it will do very well in the long run, right now the technicals are pointing down. That is my piece on that. I could see it pulling all the way down to $1,400, although likely support sits a little bit higher than that, around $1,600. Tell me your thoughts on that in the chat, guys. What do you think about that, Tim? Where do you think Ethereum is going to go?
Yeah, well, so, yeah, I'm not 100% sure with the technicals of it saying it's bearish. What I've seen and what I believe is that Ethereum is kind of hanging on to Bitcoin at the moment and to the NFT argument. We've talked about that a little bit. Again, that doesn't mean that I hate Ethereum. It doesn't mean I'm getting out of it. It does mean, like, hey, I need to see Ethereum do some more than just ride Bitcoin's coat and then ride the NFT coat. And then the other thing we have to remember is with ADA gaining some traction, with Cardano gaining traction, that kind of hurts. That hurts Ethereum. So I kind of agree, you know, even from a fundamental standpoint, not just technical, I think Ethereum's slightly bearish. But the good news is, like I said, it's attached to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin rallies, which I think is a very real possibility, I think Ethereum could just because it rides the coattail.
Yeah.
But someone did ask in chat, though, Jeb, you gave a 30-day prediction on ADA.
Yes.
So could you quickly give a 30-day prediction on Ethereum and then potentially also Bitcoin? I don't know if you've thrown together everything you need to make that prediction. So if not, we'll make sure to do that in the future. But
30-day prediction on Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's so much at play right now. So I'm not going to make a 30-day prediction on either one of them right now. We can come back to that in a future stream, so subscribe to the channel and you might see that. The reason I'm not going to is because there are a lot of pieces in play on the chessboard right now. We don't exactly know where they're going to fall. We have things like the stimulus checks coming out. We have things like inflationary policy happening. We have people leaving the stock market for reasons of inflation. We have the growth of crypto YouTube helping to educate the masses on crypto. There is so much going on right now, even more than normal in cryptocurrency. There are so many little things at play that it is very difficult to make a concise prediction on something. The reason we made a concise prediction on ADA is because ADA just went through a massive adoption event. I can't be as sure as to whether or not Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to do that because there are a lot of news stories that are going to break in the next 30 days that are going to massively shake things up. We're moving into a period of decision. We're moving into a period of volatility insofar as we don't know which direction the market is going to move. And I know some people hate when I say that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, it is my job to be integral with you guys. It is my job, like seriously, we're not even talking about the Team Jeb anything here. One of our core values as a company is integrity. From an integral point of view, I can't give you a solid price prediction in that time frame. I can give you a price prediction for tomorrow because that's likely going to be a result of the technical analysis. I can give you a price prediction for 2 years from now because that's likely going to be a result of the fundamentals. But it's hard for me to give you a 30-day price prediction simply because there are so many things that can happen that can change that. That's why I either do a daily or a 3-daily price prediction, or I'll talk years in advance because it's really hard to predict that time frame. That's why I don't like doing 30-day price predictions unless something is very clear like it is on Cardano. So I'm going to have to cop out on that one. As far as a year price prediction, I'll give you that because at least that's something. I see Bitcoin being worth well over $100,000 12 months from now, and I see Ethereum being worth well over $5,000 a year from now if it is able to hold on to its supply and stops riding the coattails of Bitcoin and the NFT craze, and Ethereum 2.0 comes out and we move to proof of stake and we start seeing lower transaction fees and we start seeing lower energy consumption. We start seeing higher block capacity and we're able to send more transactions through Ethereum. If all of that happens, Ethereum's easily going to $5,000 or $10,000 in the next 12 months.
yeah.
It's hard to pull back. It's hard to make it's hard to make an educated prediction on a 30-day price prediction. Yeah. So I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's just, you hit it right on the head. Like the technicals are not always in control of everything.
Yes.
Because fundamentals can change it up. So you've heard us talk on the show before. If you've watched, we compare this game of trading and reading the market a lot like playing blackjack in Vegas. The fundamentals are like learning how to play the game, right? And the technicals is like learning how to count cards, right? And so every now and then, though, the dealer he changes the deck, like he reshuffles, and then you have to restart over. You have to restart counting. That's what we've seen happen in ADA. That's what we see happen sometimes in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That when you see us make a prediction, it's not because it was just crazy. The technicals were there. Stuff just got reshuffled. So what we have to do is stay on top of fundamentals, and we have to stay on top of the technicals. Both are very important. And if that's something that you guys are like, man, I don't know if I have that skill yet. I don't know if I know how to count the cards of crypto. CT2A, the course that we offer, is very, very valuable at teaching you that. You'll be able to see things happen before they happen as long as the cards stay the same. Now, stay on top of the fundamentals, but when you pair the fundamentals with reading technical analysis, you have got a deal. And by the way, if you were on the fence about purchasing that course, just so you guys know, today at 5 p.m. is the end, and that's 5 p.m. Eastern time. That is the end of that sale, Smee the Tree. It will no longer be there. That's a $75 off on the course. Make sure if you are thinking to get that, you go ahead and act on that very, very, very quickly because it will be gone. But normally we'll jump into another coin, but we're kind of run over time. So let's go ahead and wrap it up with our predictions for Monday.
Okay.
So what coin, real quick, we'll let you guys choose in chat. What coin do you guys want to see us predict? And the three I'm going to give you, because they're the three that are going to be the most entertaining to actually predict, is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. We've recently had some Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum predictions that were pretty fun. What do you guys think we should predict today? What do you guys want to see on Monday? Granted, it's a 3-day stretch. That's going to be kind of difficult, but
Can we replace Cardano with Polkadot? Because we've done Cardano like a couple times.
we
lately.
can add DOT to the. I mean, if you want to add DOT too.
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right, so you guys got 20 seconds to spam the chat if you guys want to see one of those be predicted.
Good deal, guys.
Yeah.
Good deal. While we're waiting on that, I just want to thank everyone who has tuned into this stream. I want to thank everybody who is really getting settled into the new format of coffee and crypto here. Shout out to everybody who has their coffee. I really appreciate everybody joining up into this stream. Guys, we really enjoy doing this live stream, and we love providing you with value. We love helping you to understand cryptocurrency markets so that you can achieve financial freedom, because at the end of the day, we love helping people. We love seeing the world become a better place, and that is why we do what we do. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for all of our subscribers who tune in every single day. Shout out to like Bolvito and Mr. Feckdick, or however we say your name, the guy who always seems to be first here. Thank you so much to our community. Let's see if there are any good coins in chat for us to do a prediction on.
I've seen a lot of DOT.
I've seen a lot of DOT.
I've seen a lot of DOT.
You know what's funny is we gave 3 or 4 different choices, and people are still spamming different altcoins.
It happens.
Come
It
on,
happens.
guys. Come
I
on.
hear. But, hey, I also want to tell you guys, if we didn't answer a question you wanted to answer, it's not because we didn't want to answer it. It's because we can only answer so many questions. So if you have a question we did not answer, make sure to hit up our support email. That is support@cryptojeb.com, and we will try to get an answer to you as quickly as possible. We are about to go into the weekend, so if you don't get an answer until Monday or Tuesday, that's why. But we do want to answer you guys' questions because we do actually care about you guys not only learning this space, but being very, very profitable from it.
Absolutely, guys. So we're going to do a prediction on DOT then?
We're doing DOT.
Yes.
Let's do DOT.
We're doing
Good
DOT.
deal, guys.
Just so you guys know, DOT is currently sitting at,
35.80.
actually it says 38.21.
What?
38.21. I don't know where are you looking at.
Oh, mine just updated. Okay, 38.21.
38.21.
27 actually.
Well, it bounces. I'm saying 21 because that's what it looked like when I saw it. So that's what we're going with. And make sure you guys write down what you think.
I don't have a thing to write down on.
Well, then type it.
It's like every time I don't.
You need to remember to bring a pen and paper with you, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time. All right, I'm just gonna cycle through these.
We gotta get Zach in here too.
Oh, is Zach going to make a prediction?
Well, there's a Team Zach now. People
I guess there is a team definitely
Yeah,
not high
so-
Zach.
All right, let's see.
Give us a 1 in chat if you want to see team definitely not high Zach make a prediction.
All right, here we go.
Ooh.
This is for Monday.
Yes, this is for Monday, 9:30 Eastern time. I got my prediction.
All right, I got mine.
Okay, well, we gotta get.
We got to grab Zach, who is currently working and
Zach.
editing.
Give me a number for DOT. Just throw it out. Just a number for DOT.
Polkadot.
Choose a random one.
Polka dot.
What? 38.21. Yeah. 43. Look at the optimist. I like it. 40. He said 43. All right.
All right.
It's May.
Well, as you guys heard, I am usually right. I saw some people say that in the chat earlier. So I'm sorry if you're investing in DOT, but I think it's gonna go to 37.50.
37.50.
Yep.
Pessimist. Nah. Pessimist. You've been riding a wave. Well, no, I guess yesterday you were kind of a pessimist, weren't you?
No, I've been riding a wave of being right.
I mean, you had one win in a row. That's not really a wave of rightness.
I mean, I've been the most right out of everyone in this room. So
It's speculative.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't really know what we do here because my prediction was 43.
Yours is 43?
Yes.
Do you want 42.99 or do you want 40? I'll give it to you that yours is 43. This isn't dirty
hold
tactics.
on, wait.
That's right.
Zach,
You're
but
definitely
like-
not Zach is right.
Yeah.
I think yours should override Zach's in this case. That like
'Cause I did the technical
'cause
analysis.
Technically, it's us three that's here.
Yeah, because I did the
So,
analysis.
yeah.
Definitely
Zach
not
has to
Zach doesn't
definitely
want
not
that.
high. Zach has to change his prediction.
42.99 or 43.01? You have to choose one.
Yeah, you're kicked out.
You're the new kid on the block.
Yeah, you're the new kid.
No, this is bull.
I'm going to decide for
Daza
you.
said this is bull.
I'm going to decide for you.
Listen, Team Dasa and Zach both agree 43. All right, I'll go 42.
42.
$42.99. $42.99. All right, we're changing up. Got an
Crap,
audible.
I think he might actually be right. I didn't know that's what we were gonna do.
Well, hey, I gave you the shot first.
It's true.
To
you
I'll
didn't
change
answer.
mine.
Fix
No,
your
how about
headphones.
this?
You
He
look all
can go back
slumpy,
to
yeah.
43. I'm 42.50.
All right, Tim. Let's hear what yours is.
All right,
President
so-
Tim, and don't make it long-winded. Just say it.
It's not long-winded.
Okay.
I want to tell my people though, real quick.
Oh my God.
Here it is.
I don't invest in DOT. I should probably. I don't. So I want you guys to know, please don't let this prediction kick you off, Team Tim. I still believe in you guys, and I believe in the coin. And I actually am very, very glad that Jeb said what he said, because it made me feel less crazy that I said 44. Now, here, new thing that I do now, I add numbers on for kicks and giggles, as you guys, I started yesterday. 44 and 83 cents for kicks and giggles. That's my prediction. So this one I'm not as confident on as I've been on some other things, but sometimes, a broken clock is right.
I just want to mention here, you guys all, for some reason, went pretty stinking bullish on this. I want to
Well,
know
I was reading the
what
chart, so I know why.
Yeah, okay, so that's.
I didn't get to see the chart.
I want to know
so-
your reasons other than just like what the indicator's saying. What are you feeling?
Okay,
Like, what
this
your
is why I'm
feelings?
salty about Zach's prediction, because he's probably gonna be right tomorrow.
No, hold on.
tomorrow.
We're talking about Monday, though.
I know. I meant Monday.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be right, but he doesn't know why because he hasn't done the analysis.
Oh, yeah, no.
He got lucky. The analysis points to Polkadot going back to all-time high in the next couple of days.
No.
Which is like 43.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's a solid. Your reason is just because you're just a pessimist. That's
No.
your reason.
My reason is I just have a feeling about these things that like it's always not the time frame that people give it. I believe the technicals are saying it's gonna go to all time high, right? But it's always like whenever I give my prediction, it's like the next day it goes up. So it's like I'm giving like this is the precursor to
You're trying to
what
play a
you
couple
think.
steps ahead.
I'm saying like, oh, it's not quite
He's playing
there
17D
yet.
chess right now. He's on a completely different level.
No, it's
He's
just-
got big brain, guys.
I had a combination of two thoughts when I made
Okay.
my prediction. Number one,
Okay.
stimmies are still doing their work.
Stimmies.
So that's why I'm a little bit bullish on it. And also because I really want people to make money, because that's what I'm about. I love
Goodness.
people. I'm the voice of the people.
Oh my
They love
gosh.
me. I love them. I have to serve them because that's my duty. So that's why I chose 44. The 83 cents was for my own kicks and giggles. That was its own thing.
Just because you could.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All right.
So in case you guys, before we wrap it up, currently DOT is at 38.21, although it might not, it just was when we started this. Team Tim is at $44.83. Team Smay or Team Tree is at $37.50 because he's a pessimist. Jeb is at $43 and Zach is at $42.99. It's gonna be an interesting one on Monday. Watch it go to like 45.
I'm actually
and it's just easily a win for
because of
Tim.
the luck of Zach. I'm actually on Team Zach. I'm not even on my own team. I think he's gonna be right, and I'm salty because he's got my prediction.
I gave you the choice first, and you
I
gave
know,
it
but
up.
I didn't know that's the way we were gonna do it. It doesn't matter. I don't
all right.
care. I'm just saying I'm on Team Zach. Shout out to Definitely Not High Zach, who is definitely not high. That's all I'm
Zach
saying.
just commented, "Hey guys, we know all the real
Guys.
genius." Oh,
You all know, definitely not how Zach will win.
what camera are you looking
What
into?
camera are you looking at?
which
Wait,
one
do
are
that
you
again.
looking-
Try
yeah,
it
do it
again. Now we're on the right camera.
We're on
No, I
Facebook.
can't see you.
We're
Gotta
gonna win
get
this,
down
there.
guys. Guys, we're in this.
We can see your mouth. That's all.
You can do it.
It's very nice.
That's
right
all you need to see. From
That's all you need to see.
now. All right.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap it out for today's live stream. If you did enjoy today's stream, consider liking and subscribing, and make sure to follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter at CryptoJeb. We post over there quite a lot, and we would love to see your smiling faces over there, guys. Before we go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.